In this video, we're going to be looking at long division of polynomials. And there's a couple things that we need to keep in mind. First, you always need to be written in descending powers of x. So if you've got, like in this case, if the 8x was written before the 2x squared, you would need to correct that and put the 2x squared first. Also, if there's any missing powers of x, like you have an x cubed, but then you don't have an x squared, but then you do have an x, then you have to fill in for that missing one and put a 0 as a placeholder, a 0x squared or whatever it would be. All right, so let's look at some examples. We're going to start with some easier ones, and then we're going to progress to the harder ones. So we've got this one where it says 6x squared plus 16x plus 7 is being divided by x plus 2. Okay, so here's how we write it. We put the x plus 2 out front, and then on the inside, we're going to write 6x squared plus 16x plus 7. Now notice there's no missing powers of x. We had a squared, which is the power 2, and then we have a power 1, and then we have the power of 0, which means there's no x at all. So there's no missing ones. They're in the correct order, so let's begin. So the first question you have to ask, what do I multiply x by so that it turns into 6x squared? What do I multiply x by so that it turns into 6x squared? Well, it needs the 6 for sure. That 6 times x will give us 6x, but not 6x squared, so we need another x. So 6x times x gives us 6x squared. Okay, so we'll write that down, 6x squared, because 6x times x is 6x squared. And then 6x times 2 is 12x, so we'll also put that down here as well. So positive 12x. Okay, now I am going to subtract, which means I'm going to change the signs. I say change the signs because sometimes these are already negative and you'll have to change them to positive. So I'm going to write in a different color, and I'm going to circle the sign change. Okay, so it's 6x squared minus 6x squared, which just goes to 0, and then it's 16x minus 12x, which is 4x. Okay, so after you're done with that, you drop down your next term, and then you repeat. So what can I multiply x by to make it turn into 4x? Well, 4 times x is 4x, so I need a 4. So 4 times x is 4x, so I'll put that here. And then 4 times 2 is 8, so I'll put that here. They're both positive, so I'm going to change them both to negative and subtract. And that gives me, let's see, 4x minus 4x goes to 0, and then 7 minus 8 is negative 1. Okay, so it says to write the quotient and the remainder. Okay, our remainder is this right here. It's the remainder. And the quotient is this right here. Okay, so this is the quotient. Okay, and if you want to write it in the proper form, here's how you would write it. 6x plus 4 plus a negative 1 divided by x plus 2. X plus 2 was the original thing we were dividing by. This was our remainder. Okay, so this we could not get rid of this, so we have to put that underneath right there. Okay, so this is your answer. Okay, but if you want it written in quotient and remainder form, the quotient is 6x plus 4 and the remainder is negative 1. All right, let's do the next one over here. So we've got 2x squared plus 8x plus 11. All the terms are there. They're in descending order, divided by 2x plus 2. So 2x plus 2 goes out front. And then 2x squared plus 8x plus 11 goes inside. Okay, let's begin. What do I multiply 2x by to get 2x squared? Well, x. X times 2x is 2x squared. And x times 2 is 2x. I'm going to change the sign. Okay, so that will give me, this goes away. 8x minus 2x is 6x. And then we're going to drop down our next term. Okay, and then repeat. So what do we multiply 2x by to make turn into a 6x? 3. So this is going to be our quotient. Let's multiply it through. So 3 times 2x is 6x, and 3 times 2 is 6. I'm going to change those signs. They're both positive, so I'll make them both negative. And then this goes away, and 11 minus 6 is 5. Okay, so our quotient is x plus 3. And our remainder is 5, and if you want to write it in the proper form, it's going to be equal to this question right here is, in fact, I'll put it right here, is equal to x plus 3 plus 5 over 2x plus 2. Okay, let's move on to these. These are going to be a little bit, could be a little bit tougher. We've got, this is what we're dividing by now. Let's make sure that we have all of our x terms in descending order and none missing. Looks like we're good. X cubed, x squared, x, and then no x. All right, so let's write it down. So 3x squared minus 2x divides into 6x cubed minus 10x squared minus 5x plus 14. Okay, let's begin. So what do I multiply 3x squared by to get 6x cubed? Well, I need a 2 times 3 makes 6, and I need another x, so 2x. So 2x times 3x squared is 6x cubed, and 2x times negative 2x is negative 4x squared. Okay, I'm going to change the signs, so put a minus here and make this a plus. Okay, so this goes away and this becomes negative 6x squared minus 5x plus 14. Okay, I'm dropping all those terms. Let's do it again. What do I multiply 3x squared by to get negative 6x squared? Well, it's already got the x squared. It just needs to be turned into a negative 6, which would be negative 2. Okay, so negative 2 times 3x squared is negative 6x squared, and negative 2 times negative 2x is positive 4x. I'm going to change the sign, so this becomes a plus, this becomes a minus. First term goes away, and this becomes, let's see, negative 9x. You add those, drop your 14. Now there's no more you can do because this power of x is less than the thing that you're dividing by. So this right here is going to be your remainder. Our quotient is 2x minus 2, and our remainder is negative 9x plus 14. And if you want to write it in the proper form, it would look like this. Equal to, that's what this is equal to, is 2x minus 2 plus negative 9x plus 14 divided by your original thing that you were dividing by, which is 3x squared minus 2x. Okay, let's do one more of those. So are we missing any terms? It does not look like, so let's go ahead and put that out front. And then 12x cubed plus 11x squared minus 20x plus 7. Okay, so what do I multiply 3x by to get 12x cubed? That needs a 4x squared. 3 times 4 is 12, and x squared times x is x cubed. So that's 12x cubed. 4x squared times negative 1 is a negative 4x squared. Okay, I'm going to change the sign. This one turns into minus, this one turns into plus. This goes away, and 11x squared plus 4x squared is 15x squared minus 20x plus 7. I just dropped down those two terms there. Let's do it again. What do I multiply 3x by to get 15x squared? Well, it needs 5, and it needs another x. Okay, so 5x. So if I multiply 5x times 3x, I get 15x squared. 5x times negative 1 is negative 5x. Okay. Change the sign, and I get, this one goes away. This one becomes negative 15x plus 7. I'm just dropping down that last 7. Okay, we can do it one more time. What do I multiply 3x by to get negative 15x? That'd be negative 5. Okay, so negative 5 times 3x squared is negative, or 3x is negative 15x, and negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5. Change the sign, plus and minus. Okay, this one goes away, this one becomes a 2, so our quotient is 4x squared plus 5x minus 5, and our remainder is 2. And written in the proper form, it would be equal to 4x squared plus 5x minus 5 plus 2 over 3x minus 1. Okay, that's it for this video. I'm going to make another video if you want to watch that will cover these type of problems where you're dividing by a trinomial and there's going to be sometimes some missing terms. So I will link that in the description.